My name's Joseph Carter, and I am the Mink Man.
I've been an animal lover my entire life. I grew up training cattle dogs and cow horses with my grandfather, and I was an avid falconer in my teens and early 20s. When I was a senior in high school, I started learning about the American mink. I was told that mink were horrible, vicious little animals who were impossible to tame. Challenge accepted. I've been in love with mink ever since, and have devoted the last 14 years of my life to learning about this marvelous little predator. I get mink from fur farms and give them a new life. In this new life, my mink live as naturally as possible, even hunting for their dinner the way a wild mink would.
So come join me on my adventures as we learn more about this intense little predator, the amazing American mink. So we're out here in the desert and we are hunting small desert rodents with Vila. Most years that typically means we're out pursuing kangaroo rats. However, this year it seems that the kangaroo rat numbers are lower than usual, whereas other little desert rodents like mice and voles have skyrocketed. So a lot of small mammals, especially rodents and rabbits, they tend to go through these boom and bust cycles every 7 to 10 years. Basically, the population will grow to a point where it's borderline plague-like proportions or full-blown plague-like proportions, depending on the location and the species and a few different things. But sometimes it's a full-blown plague. But regardless, the numbers get to this peak where there's just tons and tons of them. And then when it's at its peak, soon thereafter it crashes till there's like almost none of them. And then over the few years it slowly builds up till it gets to plague-like proportions, then they crash again. In certain locations and certain species, these are very obvious and prominent boom and bust cycles. Other species and locations, you barely notice it. So back in 2012 was when I remember it last. So what is that, 8 years ago? So 8 years ago, there were little kangaroo rats in pretty good numbers, but the mice and the vole populations were just out of control, just tons and tons and tons of them. And then they dropped to the point where we didn't see any for a couple years. And then we saw one or two, and then a few more. And this year, the population's quite high. Nowhere near to the point where it was, 8 years ago, 2012, but definitely significantly higher than last year and significantly higher than the year before that. So I'm interested to see, have we hit the peak yet, or are we still on our way up, and next year's going to be an even bigger year? Well, we'll find out. But anyway, with all that put aside, our point today is really just to get out and get some meat for feeding the mink. But more importantly, obviously these little rodents don't provide very much meat. More importantly, we're going to get some training for Vila. Now, I hope to be taking advantage of these rodent populations with our monitor raptor soon here. I just need to get him a little further along in his training before I can take him out and do this. But a great year to have a lot of rodents for us to be able to come out with raptor and hunt them. So I'm excited for that later in the summer. But for now, let's get young Vila out. The reason we want to hunt these small rodents with a young developing mink is they don't pose the threat that like a rat would, or obviously a muskrat to a young mink. They're not intimidating, and they're also not as likely to bite them. And if they do, they're so small it doesn't really cause any pain to the mink. So we want to build that mink's confidence, and by using small, unintimidating prey, they can learn the basics of hunting without risking breaking that confidence. So we can boost the confidence of the young mink and give them a whole bunch of experience all at the same time. And of course, everything we catch goes to good use. We're going to make sure we take them home, preserve them as best we can, and feed them back to the mink.
Oh, I see it. It's right there. Gonna let her go?
Oh, she's sliding over there. Oh, tiny little thing. She slid right in there. Here comes one. She's flushing them out. One come running out and then went back.
Yep, it's right here. Right in there.
Right here is anywhere. Oh, right there.
Right there. right here. Oh, found a hole. Where do you want it?
Oh, there's little holes in the side of the hole. Like we're in the middle of freaking nowhere and people are just like, oh, there's guys on the side of the road in the middle of the night, whatever. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm glad they
Sweetie?
don't.
Oh, you're so sweet.
I'm sure glad they don't. I mean, it would be annoying. I'm just saying, it's surprising. There you go, Casher leash. Good job. You're not getting a treat for that, but good job. Here. She went right past it. She's so close. Vila. No, by Vila.
Oh,
It's right in my foot.
it's right there. Oh, there he goes. No.
Here. Too bad it got away, but that was excellent.
Looks like a hiding hole, rather than a home. Yeah. Oh, there she goes. Oh, right here. It's right there. Sweetie. She walked right by it. It's right here. Look.
Here. Here.
Oh my gosh. It's right there. Oh, she got it.
Good girl. Haha. That was awesome.
Success.
Ah,
Al fin.
Al fin. So we've been busting our butts all night trying to catch stuff and just having no luck. Finally, we got to this area and the dogs caught a couple rabbits, so we caught something. But the mink, still, we hadn't caught anything with the mink. And finally, we got one in the bag. I hope that film turns out because that was a lot of work for that one little kangaroo rat. But excellent training for Vila, good experience. She now knows what she's doing, so she should be that much better next time. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll show you more next time. We are working on this pond. So for those of you who haven't heard or haven't been on my Instagram or Facebook accounts where we've made the announcement officially, Mink Land is expanding and getting better. We're putting in a pond here. We'll do a full video explaining what's going on, but I just wanted to give you guys a little tidbit, a little heads up on this exciting project we have going on, and we'll get into more details with a video especially for this purpose.